Pay close attention, because I want to see if you agree with me or if you think I'm just absolutely batshit crazy. I believe there are 7 things that our education system completely fails to teach us as we're growing up. But if we can learn these 7 qualities, our life as human beings radically transforms. And not only do our life transform, but the lives of everyone around us go through a remarkable, beautiful transformation as well. The first one is teaching people how to bend reality. What I mean by this is I have become 100% convinced that the world is an illusion and that our minds can shift that illusion, that we can generate synchronicities, coincidences, good luck, if you will, to move us forward. When you learn to do this, so many myths of the modern world disappear. Number 1, the myth of lack, that there isn't enough for everyone. That disappears. And the second thing is the myth of hard work, struggle, strive. The soul was not born and did not choose the human experience to go through struggle, hard work, and toil. The soul is here to be blissful. When you learn the art of bending reality, even if you have a job that is super important, you're working on incredible projects, everything moves effortlessly. Now, the second skill that schools need to teach us but do not is the skill of intuition. You learn that knowledge does not just come from your brain and what you read and the people you have access to. It can come from within. This is that special skill that geniuses like Steve Jobs tapped into to create things that nobody else in the world could see. Intuition becomes a guiding voice to allow us to make better decisions in life. Not just what to invent, what to create, but who to date, who to move towards, who to move away from. Intuition is something so important. It's in all of us. Now, the third skill is related to the first 2, and it is the idea of living from purpose, being connected to your intuition so you know why you're here, and then being able to bend reality to move towards that purpose, whether it is to create a great work of art or write a book or be the mom or dad to a great group of kids. It's being so aligned with your purpose that you are unshakable on that purpose. And it's one of the most attractive qualities of any man or woman to see someone so into their purpose. But again, schools don't teach that to you. Rather, we become pieces of paper in a giant human photocopy machine, photocopying the preset lives of generations past and other people. Instead, you want to turn your life into a masterpiece. This brings us to the 4th idea, stepping beyond the culturescape. In my writing, I coined the word called rules or bullshit rules. I suggest that much of the world around us is made up by people no smarter than us. And these ideas, often long outdated, are injected in our brain from the time we are kids by our governments, by religion, by our preachers, our fathers, our mothers, our teachers. None of them mean bad. They just don't know better. The world is changing at a rapid pace, and we can question the rules of the world. We can discard the bullshit rules of rules and create whole new ways of functioning in the world. In transformational theory, we call this operating from a sense of autonomy and operating from a sense of authenticity. If the 3rd ingredient that I spoke about is turning your life into a masterpiece, that is being authentic to you, living your life on your terms. Autonomy means that you no longer seek to fit in. You no longer suppress who you are or what you do or what you believe to fit in. You're willing to stand for what you feel that intuitive calling within is. This brings us to skill number 5. It's unity consciousness. And this is where it kind of gets puzzling, because autonomy is important. You want to be separate from the rules of the world, but you also want to feel unity with other people in all life. When you feel unity, what mystics often call the samadhi experience, this feeling of oneness that you get when you meditate, when you feel that, what happens is that you can only move and make decisions towards a greater good. Unity consciousness is so important in the world today. But so many folks, especially politicians, preach disunity. They get us to fear other people. They talk about building walls. Whenever you hear that, know that that is a backward progression of consciousness. We are individuals, but we as human beings exist almost as a colony species. We need each other, and we got to think multiple generations ahead in terms of the work we do and ask ourselves, are we making the world better off? Do we deeply care about each other? Are we operating from unity consciousness? This brings us to ability number 6, and this is the ability to access altered states of consciousness, to get into deep states of what people call mojo or flow, where you just move through the world in maximum creativity. I've seen great artists do this. I've seen great writers do this. It just comes forth through you. But often it has to do with being able to access these altered states of mind. And finally, the seventh skill, which I think is so important, is how to always ensure that in all your relationships, it's win-win. When we talk about conscious parenting, when we talk about conscious uncoupling, it is so important that everything is win-win. That you live life with no enemies. There is no one out there that you need to hate, or that you need to carry anger towards, or that you still need to forgive. And you can create a way of existence where everybody who comes into your life becomes a win-win relationship. And win-win relationships multiply each other. When you're dating someone and you're part of a win-win relationship, it's not 1 + 1 = 2. It's 1 + 1 = 1,000. Win-win relationships change the dynamic of how we exist as human beings. They multiply us. And that's the seventh skill. When you put all 7 of these together, what you have is a pretty damn good framework for how we can grow as individuals. Now, of course, there's so many other things you want to look at, right? From health to wellness, but everyone knows about that stuff. I wanted to draw attention to these 7 things because these are new goals. These are new ways of looking at the human experience. Most people don't talk about them. To many companies, when they're investing in employee development, they don't even look at these 7 things. But believe me, 10 to 15 years from now, these 7 things are going to be hot. Just like meditation was hardly known 20 years ago. Today, 44% of the Fortune 100 have meditation classes for their employees. So pay attention to these 7 skills. And if you learn and you grow these skills within you, you're going to live life at a whole different level. So what do you think of this video? Am I crazy, or is there something here? Go ahead and comment below.